Okay, I'm gonna do the morning stretches a little bit different than we normally do. I'm not gonna do the slide by slide, just because I wanna kind of try something different, just to see if anyone likes it, or if they don't like it. They hate it, they love it, whatever. And one thing that we don't ever do is stretch our minds. So we're gonna start with a mind stretch to kind of think through while we do the physical stretch. So if you could go back in time and give yourself or your younger self advice, but only using 3 words, what would you do? What would you give yourself? So think about that while we're stretching. We'll come back at the end. First things first, now give yourself some space. I'm not going to count through the stretches, but I'm just going to kind of talk through them. First things first, we're going to do it like a good morning stretch. So just get your feet about shoulder width. Kind of come up, arch your back. If you feel something tight, just kind of work it out. This one right there. All right, we're going to come back down. Next thing, we're going to do some ankle rolls. So just from your heels up to your toes. We'll do that for probably about 10 reps. Nice and stretch at the top. Chris hates them so far. Feels a little bit different than a normal stretch. Just kind of loosen up a little bit. All right. Next thing, we're going to step forward. Kind of like a split stance. Keep your hips square. Just kind of sink down a little bit. You're going to feel a little bit of a stretch on the front of your leg. Again, if you feel a tight spot, just kind of work it out a little bit. For me, it's like right there. Chris, what do you got?
I don't know.
How's the stretching? Come down a little bit more.
Back of my calf.
Come down a little bit.
How far did it?
Just come all the way. Just come forward a little bit.
Get bent.
He's on the right angle.
Still my calf.
Yeah, your hips forward.
So like then this.
Bend.
She did like down.
Back leg straight.
Hey, put your pants.
Yeah. Keep going all over. All right.
No, I don't feel that
We're
one.
gonna come out, we're gonna do the other side.
Or is it later?
Are we rotating the arms?
All of it feels good. You don't have to.
Just do it. Feel good, man.
But if you feel a tight spot, we're kind of working it out. Chris, what are you doing, mate?
I don't know.
You don't have those.
You don't have these muscles. You gotta move.
This is the only person.
Am I an alien?
Don't work. All right, keep in there, keep in there. Let me get back to my list. All right. All right, so from there, we're just gonna do our normal quad stretch that we normally do. Leg up. Again, if you feel a tight spot, just kind of work it out. You can lean forward if you're Chris. Or you can kind of come back. Keep your chest up and out. All right. Gonna go over to the other side. Or you can come forward if you want. But do this. See how it kind of lengthens right there?
My leg stretches. If I do this, my leg doesn't stretch.
It's a leg stretch.
I don't understand that. It's a leg stretch.
All right.
I got to further.
So next we're gonna go to a little wider stance like this. And then we're gonna go down, with your back flat, just kind of hinge at your hips.
Yeah.
Come forward.
Well, I don't like that. Sorry, Joel.
Let's go to the right. Again, try to work it back left to right a little bit.
Oh, that feels good. I like that. Corey, this is a good one.
All right. And then we're gonna spend a little bit of time just doing your left leg. Left. And then slowly walk it over to your right leg.
Just so you guys know, Corey played football in college, and this is pretty much what he learned while he was there.
This is all I'm doing.
Kinesiology or
Then you're
whatever.
gonna work it right back to the middle. And just kind of hang there for a second.
Hang out.
Just hang out wherever feels good. Just kind of rock it if you want to. Stay still if you want to.
All your backs.
All right, come back up to a flat back. And then just kind of stand up slowly. All right, next one we're gonna go to. Oh, shit, sorry, back to that. And we're just gonna lean to the left or to the right, whatever way you want to go. Gonna stretch your groin out a little bit. Upper body straight, Chris. Straight. You want to stretch right there. I got it. You got it?
You got it going.
Joel, how you feel? Joel, you feel it?
Oh, I feel it.
Feel it?
We'll stand in the back.
Now that you know about this, we do this all the time. It'll just be like standing somewhere by call ya.
Yeah, so just kind of work it out. All right, and then come back up. We're gonna do another good morning stretch. Round your back. All right. And then there's a couple that I put in here that we would normally do. So we're gonna do the cross body stretch.
Feel bad for Cameron. I know. He's just doing that one pose on the screen. It's all driving.
If anybody could figure that picture out, it would be Cameron.
Then just kind of shake it out. On the
Next to
side.
his girlfriend.
It's like 4 legs.
All right, then we're gonna do this. The next stretch slightly different. So left arm behind your back. Yeah. Right arm, grab the left ear. And you're gonna pull it to the right and slightly forward. And then again, if you feel a tight spot, you can come forward and get side, just where it feels good. Okay. And then instead of just letting go, just kind of push your head against your hand as you come back up. We're gonna switch sides.
I just don't go.
Same thing.
In middle school, I had a teacher who had big muscles. And he would always do weird things to try to show off his muscles. We're like over there. I feel like that's what you're doing, Corey.
I know I should have or sweatshirt. All right, and then just kind of roll your neck out. We're not doing neck rolls per se, just kind of wherever feels tight.
Next, we're
Just
gonna
work it out.
stretch like this. Oh, it's like shoulder stretch.
All right, and then we'll do the same stretches that we normally do for the wrist. If you can find a table or something, and you can do like this, that also works a little bit better.
Then he pushes the table over to show off his strength. Get it strong.
Should have just done the slides.
Yeah.
All right, and last one. So we're gonna do another good morning. So just kind of getting up, stretch back. Then again with a flat back, just kind of fold forward.
I wish Cameron was recording himself, trying to interpret like.
And then,
Trying to do it.
and then let go, touch your toes,
That'd be really funny.
and then slowly roll your spine back up. And shake it out and you're done. All right. So back to the mind stretch. 3 words, Kevin, any?
I can't say it out loud.
You can't say it out loud. Okay.
Ryan can.
Ryan, what do you got?
I said cut your hair.
That's a good one. All right, I'm not gonna go around and ask everyone.
When you're like 9, buy real estate.
Good time.
All right, we're doing daily department check-in next. Accounting and purchasing.
Oh, they're different.
Oh, yeah. What do you got?
For those in the 401k, I sent emails out to show you how to enroll in the new,
That was real?
Yeah, that was
let me know, give me a comments about that.
That's, don't go ahead.
Have any other big news or something?
Okay, engineering.
Good.
All right, sounds good.
He's sleeping.
Brian, anything?
I got a brass tooling cart prototype,
Yeah.
put out there, and it looks like it's gonna be a pretty good improvement, so that's exciting.
Joel,
I think it's your turn today, Corey.
is it my turn? Yesterday was good. I spent a little bit of time working on this, so, I wasn't in it quite as much, but I know Chris is working through some some fun Kanban stuff and I'm as well. Marketing. What was that?
I can't talk.
You said visual controls?
Visual control stuff.
Shipping?
Is there a total?
Hey.
I changed it to blue, right? We had a pretty good day yesterday.
What's
each
that number
day-
say?
I'm not gonna say it out loud. Each day we're pretty much clearing out the queue. Each day's a little bit different, so Chandler typically has 2 to 5 pallets of freight. Today looks like it's been about 5 pallets of freight for the day, and yeah. Keep Ben's working on roof racks, we're getting stuff back from Butterco for that, so.
Brian basically said he wants more. Any more we can give them.
Anything more?
Which Brian?
This Brian.
More from.
Robot?
Oh, we got 2 Bronco lunch places in the robot food yesterday. We have a 4th one finished. We were missing a part. So we had to wait on that. So they found to get it. And then we went to run the bed rack and one of the molly panels that shifted in the laser. So it's all yeah. So on that, we'll get the D rings out today to go with those point plates. And we got 2. Yeah.
Powder coat.
Parker was a real good day yesterday. I don't have a whole lot over there right now. I got a few starts. Thanks for that. Clear starts without. Whatever you guys can push it up. We'll take them.
Salt?
I got an aluminum tabs. They're trying right now. I'm not.
Okay, surfacing, tubing.
Didn't really do much yesterday because the laser went down and we were cutting 11 gauge. So we got like 3 sheets done. Then for tubing, I finished up the last couple of tubes. I had to bend and clean up. I got those pushed up.
Laser?
It's done. It does that. We got Mazak calling this one. So
Very cool. CNC.
CNC, yesterday we made a couple SOPs and got set up and run through aluminum caps.
Brake press?
Real good. Chris said, Chris came over and helped on small press, got a few pallets of shipping stuff up, and then we were able to catch up pretty good in the bad side of it.
Yes.
We've only hit our goal one time this entire time this new chart system has been up. The goal is 20 points, but it goes based off of time of the product it takes to finish it and the value of it, but we don't quite understand like how it works still. So we're kind of working on it. We gave ourselves a number of 20 to start with, and we're laser was down yesterday, so we weren't able to get 2 other bumpers up. So a little bit of a slower day.
So how does that work? How does it track that?
It's based off of just how much time the product takes and then the value of how much it costs, I think. So we don't, I'm guessing strike bumpers are like worth 2 to 3 points. Aluminum is probably more since it costs more. But that's something that I kind of want to get to know more about because we're all really unfamiliar with the new system. So
It's a cobble metric right now. So we're trying to get better metrics, but that's a cobbled metric that we just don't have all the data that we need to give every department. So brake press is tracking time on jobs because our job time is long. So the sooner they can get those updated, then we can have real numbers of what stuff takes to get through the process. The aluminum doesn't value more, it values less. The idea was that an aluminum bumper and a steel bumper are still a bumper, right? So just because it's aluminum doesn't mean it's valued more. The idea is that we're trying to load level so that we don't have a weird spike from, if you just did cost, right? Cost of product through, then everything that Jamie builds in his cell is worth double what everyone else does. And so it's not a good metric. And then you also don't see it every day. So then you get these spikes in the numbers where aluminum comes through, numbers spike way up. So it's not a good metric when you have 2 numbers as far apart. So we're continuing to try to work on it. It's a lower bar than what we had set previously when you guys were working off your earned hours and job hours. So it should be attainable, and we brought it down based on how many people. Right, there is. So when another welder comes into the space, the number goes up. More or less. If you hit it once, you should have an idea how it feels. And then if you can hit it another time, maybe you can start to get a feel for how that. So you can feel this, that you can feel when you had a good day versus a bad day. But we're kind of basically working with a metric that's not great, more or less. I'm trying. That's fine.
Still metric.
So more to come on that. But yeah.
I can check on that real quick too. We're filling out the press with your timing stuff and Nick and Terry, everybody that's been operating the press is doing their best on timing jobs so you can get the timing that's in the system accurate. I've done a job of 3 550 rears, which is one of my more recent designs. My bumper, I should be, besides Nick, maybe including Nick, I should be the fastest one to done that just because I've been familiar with it and I designed it. And, I done 3 bumpers in a little under 60 minutes, which is a flying for strike bumpers. I felt, and Casey put it into his chart that he's been trying to put out was 5% efficient. So I could learn how to do it 20 times faster according to that. So,
Do you ever think about speeding up?
Yeah,
It's basically garbage in, garbage out, right? And that's where we are right now. Trying to get to where we're not inputting garbage so that we can actually have, then we have to measure for amount of time because, we try to do pieces per department, but then all of a sudden they build roof rack mounts and all of a sudden they're building hundreds. So then you go from averaging 30 parts per day or something, and all of a sudden now you're 230 parts in a day. So it's just too much variance for that to really work. So we're trying. It hasn't been fun. It's not my favorite
Work in progress.
Yeah.
At this point, we have probably 150 different hardware types.
And I would say the fab are probably the closest to anything because we've tracked them clock in, clock out, clock in, clock out for years. So we actually have real data, but everywhere else we don't do that. They just do a transaction. So we don't know how long it actually takes to run the brake press. We were just guessing. We obviously guessed 95% wrong.
Well, you're out.
All right. So what am I grateful for? So in one of our chats, Brian had brought up mentors like throughout your life. And I was like, I've had mentors my whole life. I played sports my whole life. I've had really good coaches and had not great coaches, but I've had some really good coaches that mentored me. I was like, I don't really have anyone that I can think of right now that that I would say is like a mentor really of mine. And I started thinking about it some more. And I think each of these guys have mentored me at some point over the past 10 years. So both personal and professionally. I tried to get a phrase into Joel's presentation. It didn't quite stick, so I stole it for this. The key 3.
Oh,
Yeah.
So just I'm grateful for the 3 of you guys. So shout outs. Go
Yeah,
for it.
shout out for Landon. He clarified what I thought was an issue on a Tacoma 3rd gen yesterday, but it wasn't an issue. And I appreciate how quick you are to get back with me.
Way to go, Landon.
I'd like to give Travis another shout out. I know he's got a few in the last couple of weeks, but he's been nailing it. He's been by himself until Katie gets in. So about 2/3 of the day he's by himself, and he caught up to Fab yesterday. So he's doing a great job over there.
Anybody else? Chris?
Shout out to Bradshaw. He's been doing some scans and getting us prepared to do R&D that trying to figure out better flows so we can fit into the product with the guys and stuff we're working on. And that's gonna be help. So.
Chris? Anybody else? All right.
Yes. Shout out to Corey.
All right, new SOP. This is kind of a work in progress, the thing that Brian's working on with shipping. This one was made by Chandler. So good job, Chandler, wherever you're at. There you are. That was for you.
Want to have Chandler explain what that is for me?
Oh, let's not do that yet.
We can't hear.
All right, here's the video. We're gonna be quick.
What? Are you muted?
Hold on.
Side button. Huh?
Anybody miss nothing, Bruce?
Simply yet effective. All right, 8 wastes of lean. Can we get some quick examples of each?
No.
No? All right, we're gonna move it on.
Keep going, bud.
Okay, we're not gonna talk about these either. All right, my meeting was on the 5 whys method. My quote for this topic by Meta is eradicate the seed and the weed withers. So that will make a little bit more sense here in a second. So what is the 5 why method? 5 whys is the practice of asking why repeatedly whenever a problem is encountered in order to get beyond the obvious symptoms to discover the root cause. Make a little bit more sense. It'll make a little bit more here in a second.
So let's take a look at the problem-solving method known as the 5 whys, or also causal chains. And let's take a look, first of all, at how that relates to the problem-solving funnel as a frame, where we begin with a high-level problem. It might be something that's vague, it's something that we don't fully understand, but it's the problem coming at us on a day-to-day, moment-to-moment basis. What we want to do is break the problem down to understand it, get some data, get some facts, look for patterns, and from there, that means understanding the work. This is certainly a characteristic of lean problem solving, which is to deeply go and observe and understand the work. From there, we can identify a point of occurrence, also sometimes called the direct cause. It can also be thought of as a problem in its own right. Now, we can do the fun part, which is to start to ask the 5 whys. We put on our investigative hats and ask why is this occurring? That will lead us to a root cause, regarding which we can attach a countermeasure. So to look at this part of the problem-solving process, the 5 whys or causal chain, let's look at the famous example from Taiichi Ono of Toyota, and the one that he used starting in the 1950s of a machine breaking down. So the problem that he saw as the manager of the machine shop was machines would often break down, and his people would often just attach a Band-Aid. They would only stop it at the first level of cause, meaning that the problems would recur, they would come back. So he trained himself and his people in to always ask the 5 whys, sometimes 3, sometimes 8. The point being to follow the causal chain all the way down to a root cause. So in this example, he looked at a machine that had stopped working and identified with the first why that it had blown a fuse in the control box because it was overloaded. The overload caused the fuse to blow. But he didn't stop there, asked why again, and recognized that insufficient lubrication was getting to the bearing. So the bearing, therefore, was causing the overload on the machine. Not stopping there, he went to the next cause and asking why, found that the pump was not drawing lubricant, so the lubricant then would not be sent to the bearing. Still not stopping there, okay, why again was the pump not drawing lubricant? Because the shaft was worn, causing it to rattle and not function properly. Now, another why there led him to a root cause, which was that there was no strainer that allowed metal chips to enter in and damage the pump. So with the damaged shaft, that would mean the pump wasn't drawing lubricant, so that there wasn't enough lubrication going to the bearing. That overloaded the machine and blew a fuse, and that stopped the machine from working. So we've got a 5 why causal chain going down to the root cause, and you can check that with a therefore chain going up as well. And now I know is if I apply a countermeasure here, which is to make sure there's a screener, then the problem will be solved so that it doesn't come back. So this is what can be accomplished with a fairly simple way of thinking. So that we're not just putting Band-Aids on symptoms, that we're solving problems at the root cause. Good luck in your problem solving attempts.
All right, so basically it's just a method for root cause analysis. I'm gonna skip this one because I had two examples, so we'll just get to the real one. So this is something I put together with Tim yesterday. So for an example, the problem being the customer's powder coat starts to flake within 3 months. They email us, they're pissed off. They wanna know why their bumper's rusting already. So you can kind of go down the chain, ask why. But you say metal wasn't prepped enough before powder coat. So why was it not prepped enough? Was too much anti-spatter or wax used during production? And did it not fully get washed off during the phosphate rinse? And if so, then why? Was too much anti-spatter or wax used during production? Why was that? Fabricator didn't realize it was causing an issue with the powder coat adhesion. And then why? Root cause being fabricator was not trained on how much anti-spatter or wax to use on the products. So the solution would be to create a standard on how much anti-spatter needs to be used to avoid both spatter and allow for better powder coat adhesion. So make a little bit more sense now? Okay, sounds good. So in conclusion, the 5 whys method can be used to get to the root cause of an issue. Method can be used from anything from a simple solution for reoccurring issues to a bigger Kaizen change. So for example, if there was an issue in the back, Brian can, get a group of people put together and then kind of go down the chain, figure out what the root cause is and fix that. You don't have to use just 5, but you can use 3, 8, whatever gets you to the root cause. Helps avoid wasted motion, employee potential, over processing, just simply by fixing the root cause rather than symptoms, prevents problems from reoccurring, and a better, more impactful solution. And that is it. Rapid fire meeting. Tomorrow, John Schaefer.
I may be hijacking John's meeting.
Tomorrow's not John Schaefer anymore.